Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this.
Peace and blessings, family. I hope everybody's doing well today. Shalom and blessings, Darnell Blackshear. Got one person in here right now. All right. For those who come in later on and get the understanding that I'm putting out, this is just a progress report. I know brothers and sisters have been waiting for us to drop this particular lesson on replacement theology. We have been diligently working towards getting that information out. What I want brothers and sisters to know is that our projections for the lesson to drop would be mid next month, so that's mid-October. That would be either... Can you hear that?
I heard you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, that's Brother Kadar.
That's me.
Oh, all right, hold on. All right, okay, bro. I'm gonna hang up, brother. All right. Yeah. So as I was saying, for those of our brothers and sisters that have been waiting for us to drop the lesson on replacement theology, our projections for the lesson to drop would be mid-October. So that's somewhere between October the 15th and October the 20th. All right. So what I want you brothers and sisters to understand about this lesson is it has to hold up to high scrutiny. All right. Because when we do drop this lesson, there's going to be a lot of brothers and sisters that's going to be disagreeing with us, who are going to attempt to disagree. And for you brothers and sisters that put your faith in our level of understanding and our faith in bringing information to you, we have to make sure that it's sound in the regards that whatever you pick up from us, you'll be able to defend with information, historical, whether it be the definitions of the words and the history and the scriptural references that's going to be given within this lesson. Now, the first part of this lesson is the most important part. The mid part is important also, but the first and the last part is going to be broken into three parts. The first part and the last part are the two most important parts, because within the first part we're laying the foundation and the premise that's going to be supporting what we built from that point on. Now, the mid part, which is the history, no one's going to be able to deny any of the things that's going to be said within that, because it's basically going to be all scriptural reference. But the last part, which is going to be the dismantling, that's one of the most important parts, because in that area it's where we begin to pick apart and really dismantle all the components of Christianity that their replacement theology is built upon. Now, the reason why we're going to have a lot of people coming for us is, one, we're Israelites and everything that we do. People seem to have this type of reaction to it, where they want to stand up to anything that we say, because if they support it, then in some overt means they support us. But another thing is replacement theology. Without it, there's no Christianity. All right. So I'm surprised that a lot of people haven't gone at this the way that we're going to go at it. But this would be really a strike at the heart of Christianity. You know, it's going to really put a dagger in the whole situation, or what you would call the nail in the coffin. You know, so when we dismantle this whole theological point of Gentiles being ethnic Gentiles in the New Testament, once that's dismantled, then everything else falls in line. Everything falls in line concerning who the prophecies pertain to in the scripture, who the prophecies are, who is speaking about concerning Christ coming. All these things will fall in line. All right, so okay, so I'm glad you was able to make it, Beth Nicholas, this time. So, did you have anything that you wanted to ask Brother Cleo that may be in line with some of the questions the brothers and sisters may be thinking at this point?
No, at this point, I don't have that frame of reference yet.
Okay. So, in this lesson of replacement theology, it's basically an in-depth lesson on how to remove the spiritual aspects of one's how one views Israel. All right. Now, is that to say there are no spiritual aspects? No, that's not to say that. But that is to get rid of the whole understanding that Israelites are a spiritual people, thus anybody can convert to being an Israelite. All right. It's to more so put in the forefront the bloodline and the nationality of the people and the ethnicity of the people versus a religious aspect which is being portrayed within Christianity. Now, we're going to do a couple of things within there. We're going to be going into the definitions of words such as Gentile, Jew, church, Greek, nation, right? And we're going to be forming the premise of Israel being a nation, right? We're going to be going into the tangible understandings, or the how can I say it? We're going to be going into basically the physical aspects of things that we see written in the scripture, because what you deal with a lot is people spiritualizing things to a point that now what the scripture is saying is not really saying that. You know, when we speak about salvation, for example, right, and we've been doing several lessons on that and dropping nuggets here and there for brothers and sisters to grasp, so that when we do drop this lesson, it's not going to be something said within there that you won't be able to understand. Now, we've been going through the understanding and the aspects of salvation to show, with every point of reference within the scriptures, that salvation is pertaining to Israel being physically delivered out of harm. All right, being physically delivered out of harm's way, out of the hands of antagonists or enemies or those that hate them. All right. Now that also lends to the point of when we read about Israelites in the quote unquote New Testament, this is not talking about an Israelite or some sort of spiritual Israelite where, you know, now the church is Israel and now the Gentiles have taken or superseded the place of the northern kingdom. You know, so when we talk about replacement theology, realize that that's just a theological name for it, which would be another one, which would be supersessionism. But in all, at best, this replacement theology would be known as cultural appropriation. Now, that worse is anti-Shemitic. All right. So, what we're dealing with, and we're going to show church. I'm going to show church fathers that have views that were anti-Shemitic, that are basically the foundational fathers of Christianity. We're going to show that these guys were anti-Shemitic. We're going to show that the core values of Christianity descend from anti-Semitism and from replacement theology or supersessionism. All right, these are just some of the components that's going to be in the first one. And the first part is the premise. All right, this is the strongest part. This is to be the base of what everything else is going to be built upon. All right, and this lesson would be a dagger in the heart of Christianity. Now, once we do this lesson, because there's a lot of brothers and sisters that hold to Gentiles being at the same level of Israelites, even some saying at the same time that it doesn't matter if we're Israel or not. There's going to be pushback from not only Christians, there's going to be pushback from Israelites also. So we have to make sure we build a sound defense, all right, for what we're saying. All right. Did any of you brothers have anything to add on to that?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay. How about you, Brother Kadar?
Just want to say also, when we talk about the replacement theology, they also replace it as in flying up in space, where in the clouds and living there, which they call heaven. I had a conversation with a Christian this past week, and that's what they believe, that we're going to live in the clouds. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, so that's a common thing that they not only feel that they're going to replace your kingdom on earth, but that they're going to replace whatever hierarchy is within the heavens also. You know, so like I said before, without replacement theology, Christianity can't exist. It can't exist, and it has no foundation to stand on if they're not saying that these Gentiles within the New Testament are ethnic Gentiles. They can't go to the Old Testament and say that's them, all right, because it's clear and brought out that the Gentiles that they read about within the New Testament and the Israelites that they read about in the New Testament, it's not talking about any specific people, you know, unless you're named by that people. In the Old Testament, you see people being named according to whatever nation they're from. If they're from Ham, Mizraim, if they're from Ishmael, or whatever nation they're from, it's usually brought out within the context of the scripture when we read what we call the quote-unquote Old Testament. But in the New Testament, for the most part, when you see Gentile, you really have to kind of lean to whatever theological point that Christianity has brought. And their theological point is that these Gentiles is talking about everybody and not Israelites. All right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to bring in this quick hitter, just an update. And again, we project the lesson to be done by mid-October. This first foundational point will be brought forth and is going to be sound enough for anybody to stand on. Do you have anything to add on that, brother?
Yeah, I do. I would probably say that if individuals have questions concerning the lesson or that they think would help, they should probably put them in the comments section. And if you could put the email up, maybe they can email those questions as well. Some thoughts that people may have.
Yeah, we had the email on the ticker right there going by. So if anybody wants to email us any questions, our email is available on the ticker on the scroll. So you can either email Salt of the Earth, you can email the brother Ibri, or even the brother Kadar. So you have three different emails that you can reach us by. Thank you a lot, Sister Bombo. All right. So with that being said, this has been another quick hitter. I hope everybody has a blessed day. Have walk in faith, walk in obedience, and walk in grace, Israel. This has been another quick hitter. Shalom and blessings.
Shalom, peace.